Patrick Swayze was an 80s and 90s pop culture icon. Point Break.
Yep.
Break, excuse me.
Point Break, yeah.
Thank you. Ghost.
Yep.
And of course, Dirty Dancing, just some of those memorable movies that he made.
Author and co-host of the podcast Triviality, Neal E. Fischer pays tribute to Swayze in his new book, Being Patrick Swayze, Essential Teachings of the Master of the Mullet. You wrote this book about Patrick Swayze. Why Patrick Swayze? I mean, we all know him and love him, but why was he so important to you?
Well, I really connected with him when I was a kid. He was an athlete first that transitioned into the arts, to theater and music. And I saw that in myself, what he was doing. And I have a love of pop culture, from my mom. So I was going through bookstores, looked at all these pop culture books, Keanu Reeves, Jeff Goldblum, and I didn't see any for Patrick Swayze. And I said, this is an 80s icon that everyone loves, that everyone rewatches his movies, and there should be a book about it. And so I said, you know what, I'm just going to be the one to do it.
Well, it's crazy when you look through it, like it's so smart. It's not just a biography of him, but you have top 5 listings. You clearly show your knowledge of pop culture. How hard was it to put all of that together?
It was a challenge because my editor, Becca Hunt, who was amazing, she cut out so much from the book. She said, you have so many pop culture references. You have to, fine tune it to Swayze references and things that people will understand. And it was a great challenge for me because I just wanted to make the book 500 pages of pop culture fanaticism. So it was great. And it was a nice way to distill his career into an easily digestible format for people who maybe weren't fans before, or maybe are just discovering him now, but also a lot of Easter eggs for the diehard fans.
So you didn't get to meet Patrick Swayze, but learning about his life and hearing from people that knew him, what surprised you the most about him?
That's a great question. I would say his tenacity and his drive for success, for ambition. He was hurt so much of his career right at the beginning of it in high school playing football. So he dealt with injury his entire life. And as someone, I deal with chronic migraines, so trying to be creative in the arts is really hard when you have just injuries or things that can prevent you from being 100% your most creative self. So that I was really struck by was the way that he carried himself. And then at the end of the day, really just sort of his mantra, which he sort of talked about in Roadhouse, the poster behind me, which is be nice. He was just a nice guy. He was very respectful, an honorable guy. And I think that was something that I really gravitated towards, and hopefully we'll carry that over into my career as well.
I've been staring at the Roadhouse poster behind you. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Be nice, so simple, but so impactful.
Yeah.
You have split this up into so many different ways of learning about him, but you have some trivia for us?
Yes, so I do have a little bit of trivia.
Okay.
And in the book, there is a whole section called Swayze or Philosopher. I'm picking quotes directly from his movies, but I'm also picking quotes from some famous philosophers, and I just want to know, is it Swayze or is it a philosopher?
Okay.
All right.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually think it's going to be hard. Okay.
No, I think you'll be great. And the reason I did this chapter was he sort of imbued all of his work with sort of a philosophical slant. I call him sort of... well, I say he has tender strength, obviously, because a lot of his roles, he was tender, but he was also sort of the tough guy. But he had sort of like a Buddhist philosophy in a lot of his roles. So I'm curious to see which ones you'll get. So are you ready to try?
Let's do it.
Ready.
All right. The first one here is, the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance.
Dance sounds like Swayze.
Yeah.
Let's go Swayze.
Sorry, that was Alan Watts, philosopher.
Oh.
Good guess, though. I had to trick you on that one.
Yeah, you added the dance.
This one I think you might recognize. Fear causes hesitation, and hesitation will cause your worst fears to come true.
If we're
Don't
supposed to
recognize it.
No.
Do you recognize it?
No. Let's go Swayze, because the first one wasn't.
Yeah.
All right. That's
I thought
Mr.
too.
Swayze.
That is Swayze as Bodhi in Point Break.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it.
Yep, the Zen surfer. And this last one is my favorite, but I'm not going to tell you if it's a philosopher or not. Believe in yourself, imagine good things, and moisturize.
And moisturize. I think Swayze.
You go Swayze. I'll go with Swayze on that one.
Okay.
All right. What does Swayze say? No? Yes?
That is Swayze. That's Vita Bohème from Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
What's the moisturize part of it?
Well, in that movie, he's a drag queen, so he's very up on his skincare routine. So
Nice.
as we all should be.
There you go. There's so many movies that you forget kind of that Swayze was in. We know him for Point Break or Dirty Dancing, but like Tu Wong Fu, so many incredible movies. He left such a legacy. And Neal, thank you so much for expanding this legacy of Patrick Swayze. Congrats again.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me today, and I hope people will check this out and find a newfound appreciation for an 80s icon gone too soon.
So many incredible tidbits in that
Yes.
book. Being Patrick Swayze is out now wherever you can buy books, and you can find out more on Neal's website at nealefischer.com. You did better at the trivia than you
I
thought you
hate
would.
trivia, and Kristen's like, we're doing trivia, and you were a great teammate.
You did great. We make a good team.
Yes.